Okay, this is Maui Real News, take 47.
I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let it go.
Welina me ke aloha. Welcome to the Maui Real News Report. I'm your host, Brother Chris. I have served you, my brothers and sisters, and my kupuna in the Maui community for the past 23 years as a community advocate. As a Catholic Christian, I have worked on Maui as a teacher, chef, outreach worker to the youth, the elderly, and the houseless, and since 2013 as a paralegal. I have learned a few important lessons along the way. You've got to care enough to take risks, to help others, and to stand up for what's pono. Have someone's back. Help them fight for their rights. Just being right is not enough. Caring is everything. Do whatever you can do to bring hope where there is despair and bring the light into dark places. We can't do it alone, and we need each other. I have been privileged to help those in need with their just causes. We don't always win the fight, but we fight for what's right anyway. Because justice matters, and caring matters, and they both bring healing and peace to people who matter. You may have seen me at council hearings getting heated with my associates about issues that no one is doing anything about. I have been angry and frustrated at times with what I see as the politics of complicity. The bad actors act badly, and the people elected to investigate, to question, to hold them accountable, do nothing. Then it's residents like me and you who feel the need to do something, jump up and down, make a scene, shout, stuff like that. But it's not enough to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. We need to challenge ourselves and others to do the right thing. As the mayor says, if you see it, say it. But Mr. Mayor, if we see it and say it, you can't just get annoyed at people like me for bringing it to your attention. You were elected to do something about it. Today's Maui Real News segment is called, What's Going On? I'm here today to talk about a real problem on Maui that's sucking the life and integrity out of our Maui County government at this very hour. It's a cancer that's been growing for a long time and finally needs to be removed. And I'll tell you why. Maui is growing, and there's more and more money involved. Money can do tremendous things for people, or it can be used as a tool for power and influence and greed. It used to be that when people went to work in government, they were giving up better benefits in the private sector to serve the public interest, to use their skills and talents to protect the community, the keiki, the schools, the roads, the very infrastructure of the community we all depend on. On Maui, however, many of us work for the county because the benefits are better. It's a career, it's security. That's fine, but the duty of those in government is to serve the public good, and the duty of those who are strong is to protect the weak. There is one department in the county which is supposed to work for the mayor and the council to help facilitate all that. They are supposed to advise the mayor and the council for the good of the community, but they don't, and they're not. They are called the Department of the Corporation Counsel. They are government attorneys, and for years their corrupted leadership has corrupted many of them. And many attorneys in that department have also been corrupted by certain county administration officials, making money and getting power and influence at the community's expense. Many government attorneys just do as they're told and are complicit because they value their job security, and they go along to get along. That kind of compromise is not a good thing, and it ultimately results in your becoming a bad actor. It ruins your integrity and eats away at your character, the only things which really matter. So what is this to me, and why do I care about the corruption I see, and why stick my neck out like this? Because I can't watch people I care about get hurt and do nothing. I spent a year and a half getting my Hanide Hawaiian mom out of Maui Memorial Hospital with her full pension and benefits when the person in charge didn't care enough to take care of their employees. Many, many people got hurt at Maui Memorial Hospital, and the union did nothing, and the administration did nothing. I've helped certain individuals keep their homes and stood up for them at a time when they greatly needed it the most. I have gained just as much from helping them as they got from my help. I have come to know and to understand the court system as a paralegal in the community. I helped an attorney manage his law office for 4 years, and I've seen a lot. What I've witnessed these past 4 to 6 years when it comes to our own government attorneys in Maui County is very disturbing and needs to be given the proper attention. I have recently requested a criminal investigation of Moana Lutey, the Corporation Counsel, and 5 of her deputy government attorneys, presently working in the department of the Corporation Counsel, because the department has a culture of deeply entrenched corruption. These attorneys routinely act in ways to cover up their own and others' misdeeds and harm the residents who expose the truth in unwarranted, costly litigation. That is, they defend the use of their power and office illegitimately to defend the unlawful acts of county officials, whom they protect and enrich at your and my expense. We've seen it for years. Montana Beach, Palama Drive, Oluwalu. And it's not even wrong to them anymore. It's their normal. Right now, I want you to know that the person running the Department of the Corporation Counsel, I believe, has committed so many violations of the Supreme Court rules for lawyers that were she not in such a position of power, I believe she would have been suspended, if not barred, from the practice of law. So it's not just at the national level that this new normal threatens the very core principles which our very system of government is based on. It's happening right here as well in Maui County. So sit back for a minute, let me tell you a story. Let me walk you through something going on right now, which you probably don't know anything about, so that you understand a little bit more about what's going on. For years, there have been agreements written between developers of subdivisions in the county by Corporation Counsel and Department of Public Works, which allowed the developer to pass on the cost of doing all necessary roadway infrastructure improvements related to those properties one time. These improvements included environmental mitigations as well. These agreements were one time only to help our local residents to not have to pay the tremendous costs associated with subdividing. However, instead, this law was used by big, wealthy real estate developers on oceanfront subdivisions, and the fees were never and have never been collected by Corp Counsel and Public Works, shifting all those costs onto county taxpayers for more than 40 years. Because of the dedicated work of certain residents exposing this gross negligence, these departments and agreements are now under an audit this year by the county auditor. Public Works had to stop writing these agreements because, well, it's obviously scandalous. Also, they managed to hide stuff in these agreements, like stuff the developers were required to do to protect the environment under federal and state and county law. Former Public Works Director Milton Arakawa claimed the county misplaced these agreements for years, until they were recently discovered after coming under much scrutiny. Public Works then continued to lie to us for years under Director David Good, whom the council voted against reconfirming. And Corp Counsel always covered it up, defending multiple unlawful overlapping subdivisions and the failure of Public Works to assess the fees owed to the county by the developers. Lots of money and enrichment of private real estate and commercial developers at Maui taxpayers' expense. Well, in an incredible display of arrogance, Corp Counsel and Public Works recently did it again. This time by misleading our elected county council into approving an ordinance, which was only supposed to benefit qualified residents on the upcountry water meter list, and instead wrote and approved legislation which amended County Ordinance Title 18 to give the exact same roadway improvement freebies to real estate and commercial developers island-wide. Wow. Two attorneys for Corp Counsel stated in public testimony, advising the County Council that this ordinance would never be used for commercial and real estate development, and then that's exactly what they used it for. But wait, it does get worse. A resident sued the county and two of the government attorneys responsible for tricking the council members into voting for something they never intended, only to have other attorneys from the same department of the Corporation Counsel defend their own unlawful acts in court. Now, these government attorneys get away with this routinely because it's all legal stuff, actually illegal stuff, that most people don't understand. Recently, the Circuit Court under Judge Rondelou dismissed the case. Why, you ask? Do you want the real reason that everyone already knows? Because government often protects government, and they're all buddies, and some go way back. And so the case is going on to be appealed to the appellate courts. Eric Paulson, the courageous resident who stuck his neck out for all of us to sue those lawyers and is not seeking any monetary compensation, just wants to stop the unlawful subdivision ordinance and hold those responsible accountable under Section 912 of our county charter. He is getting shut down, not by the council, not by the mayor, but by the attorneys who work for them in order that they might protect their own akole. In fact, they recently sent him a letter essentially lying about his case, misleading once again their clients, the council and the mayor, in order to prevent him from bringing his settlement proposal to a required public hearing before the Government Transparency Committee, which handles this kind of stuff. Paulson seeks to hold them accountable for deceiving the council and incurring big-time financial liability on the county residents. I can see why they would want to avoid a public hearing. But here's the thing. Blocking access to elected government officials for resolution of claims being brought forth by a county resident is an attack on the constitutional rights of citizens and was one of the charges which sent government attorneys to jail during Watergate. By the way, the new Corporation Counsel, Moana Lutey, has been a career government attorney for years and is part of the old girls club. There are 4 categories of alleged unethical, malpractice, and criminal conduct attributed to her and 5 of her deputies, which are represented in a citizen's complaint, substantiated with public government records demonstrating deceit, fraud, obstruction, and cover-up. It's Maui's Watergate. For lack of a better word, it's Maui-gate. Even today, searching the public records, going down to the courthouse and looking at Eric Paulson's case, an order that dismissed his motion for reconsideration, which was filed by the court, wasn't even in the court jacket or docket. They never sent it to him, Corp Counsel that is. They never sent him a copy. Routine practice that would be discipline to regular lawyers in this county. It's just they get away with all the time. The citizen's complaint, being brought forth with a petition now of over 150 county residents, asserts that unlawful language was inserted by Corp Counsel into the injection well settlement resolution, usurping the powers of both the mayor and the council, which Lutey claimed was normal, obstructing the mayor from enforcing environmental law and holding a developer in non-compliance for terms not met in an SMA permit, covering up fraudulent government liens on private properties, facilitating and covering up the unlawful developer agreements I told you about, misleading and deceiving the council and approving an unlawful upcountry water bill ordinance, which once again shifts a developer's financial obligations to the taxpayer. I know you all want to pay for that Napili oceanfront property, drainage and roadway improvements. On this wealthy island, all you local residents have so much extra money just lying around, eh? Under Lutey's direction, Corporation Counsel has continued to draft misleading settlement letters to obstruct justice, and Lutey herself made deliberately false statements of facts and law to council members Rollins Fernandez and Shane Sinensi during her confirmation hearing, preventing public hearings and obstructing investigations. Her department has even helped the former director of planning to create false public records. They claimed that an SMA permit, shoreline management area permit, was closed the day it was open, when that same developer was given extended timeline to actually fulfill those conditions. They filed it in a declaration in court. Full court press on perjury. What happened? Well, I got Bob Carroll, who was on the council at the time, to write a letter to the Director of Planning, William Spence. The response? Sorry, this case is in litigation. I can't answer your questions. Well, the case is no longer in litigation, and it's time to answer the questions. During Watergate, the Nixon White House initially dismissed the whole thing as a third-rate burglary. But according to an article by Mark Curtin in the American Bar Association Journal, quote, after a year of persistent media coverage, Congress initiated multiple investigations which resulted in the involvement of 20 of the most prominent lawyers in the United States. There was also a litany of criminal charges which included obstruction of justice and violating the constitutional rights of citizens, unquote. Those who have ears, let them hear. Maui Causes has a petition supporting this criminal investigation request of the Corporation Counsel, Moana Lutey, and 5 Corporation Counsel attorneys. And you can read more about it there as well on mauicauses.org. The citizen's complaint will be posted soon as well. Again, you can go to mauicauses.org. Government exists to serve the community, not to use and abuse their power to intimidate and harm residents. And I can say with full assurance and knowledge and belief that the Department of Corporation Counsel routinely intimidated council members over a long period of time. And this pattern of behavior has to stop. The strong have a duty to protect the weak. But many in this county who have become strong with power and influence have also become arrogant. And in their arrogance, they harm the very people they are supposed to serve. We can do better. We need to do better. We have to do better. So here's my shout out to 2 of our most significant elected county officials, Mayor Victorino and Council Chair Kelly King. Mr. Mayor, Mrs. King, with respect, we need the 2 of you to start working together and cut out the you know what. In other words, enough already. I'm extending to both of you an invitation on county TV to share a delicious lunch together, just the 2 of you. I invite you to dine as my guests at a location of your choice. Lunch is on me. The taxpayers deserve nothing less, don't you think? Please take me up on it. I don't want to have to sue you to get you to go to lunch. Okay, everybody, this is Brother Chris signing off and keeping it real, just the way you like it. Me ke aloha pumehana. Ke akua.
I came back to let you know.